Hey everybody, video here. This time we're going to be doing a collection video for my Dreamcast because I haven't done one in a long time and it's been updated since the last video you saw. I'm wearing a hat because I look like a bum. So, let's get started. First of all, standard controller, 2 memory cards. One problem I have with the Dreamcast is these memory cards do not hold any memory whatsoever. I might even need more memory cards than the 2 I have here. Right down here, you got your fishing rod for your fishing games. I actually enjoy the fishing games on the Dreamcast. I think they're fun and, they're cheap too, so you don't have to worry about paying really any money for Dreamcast sports games in general. Got an arcade stick here. Really solid arcade stick, to be honest. It's nice and sturdy, and I got it in box for, I think it was like 10, 14 bucks, something like that, and it's got a little memory card slot right there on the top. You got all the buttons you need. It's perfect. It's good for fighting games, which is what the Dreamcast is kind of known for. Got another Dreamcast controller, blue one, pretty standard. A lot of people have the color Dreamcast controllers. I use the standard white one just cause, so, there's that. I also have another one that's not here because it kind of sucks. I mean, it's functional, it works and all, but, it's really sticky. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, let's get started with the games. So, first up, Real Fishing Wild. I hope you guys can see that. This is actually made by Natsume. Natsume has actually made plenty of good games, I got the Power Rangers fighting game back there for Super Nintendo, which is fantastic, and Wild Guns and all these other really good Super Nintendo games. And then they came out with this, and I tried it, and it wasn't for me. I don't know, it was awkward. It wasn't as good as the other fishing games on Genesis, Dreamcast. Next we got Phantasy Star Online, classic game on the Dreamcast. Now this is essentially pointless to even own because, first of all, it was not a new copy, so I can't even play the offline mode because the only way to actually play this is to have a new copy because it comes with a code and you type in that code, and that's pretty much where, that's how you play the game essentially. And it also came with a Sonic Adventure 2 trial. There's the trial there. You see there it goes. It's actually pretty cool because there are some differences between that and the final version. Mainly in the logo. I actually prefer the beta logo. Here's Marvel vs. Capcom. Now this is the first game I got for the Dreamcast. I paid probably like 40 bucks for this, maybe 30, something like that. It's complete and everything. Pretty fun game, but it doesn't hold a candle to Marvel 2. Marvel 2 is like the greatest fighting game ever made, so it's pretty fun, but I'm not a fan of 6-button fighters, especially 6-button fighters that try and get you to do combos. It just doesn't work. SNK vs. Capcom. This is actually a really fun game. The animation is really smooth. Plenty of characters to choose from. It's pretty balanced. The only thing I don't like is the final boss in this is so stupidly hard. Yeah, he's just annoying. But it's fun to play with friends and whatnot, and it's a great fighting game. I actually like it more than Marvel vs. Capcom. Next we got Sega Marine Fishing. This is my favorite fishing game on the Dreamcast. I don't know, I like the marine fish, catching swordfish and sharks and stuff. It's cool. And I love the music. Yeah, if you've seen my top 10 relaxing game music, a track from this game makes it onto that list, so be sure to check that out. Next we got Power Stone, a classic party fighting game, kind of in the same vein as Smash Brothers. I don't have Power Stone 2, but I did pick this up, and it's one of the more rare games, or more expensive games on the Dreamcast, that people definitely seek. By the way, if you ever see a cheap Dreamcast game and it's made by Capcom, pick it up because it's probably worth money. Probably the rarest game that I own, period. We got Tech Romancer here. I went on a limb and I bought this. Once again, it's Capcom, so if you see a dirt cheap Dreamcast Capcom game, pick it up. It's probably going to be good. or expensive. I mean, the cheapest one I can think of is like the Spawn game at Demon's Hand, and you know, the cheapest you'll find that is probably like $20. So this, I actually don't know. I think it's probably around maybe a little over $60. Really solid game, very fun. A lot of fun with the fight stick actually. Next we have NFL Blitz 2000. Not a sports guy. I could give two shits about sports, but this was, you know, $5. And it's actually a really fun game. Whether you like sports or football or whatever, this is actually a really fun game. I have a lot of fun playing this with my younger brother because he's into football and stuff, and definitely really fun. There's also a cheat to play as Raiden, so there you go. That's worth it. Once again, NFL 2K. I swear to God, not a sports guy, you can tell. But this was like $2, and it's like, you know, why not? If you see, I mean, if I see a cheap Dreamcast game, I'm gonna buy it. And that one's not nearly as fun as NFL Blitz 2000, so don't bother with that one. Here we go. Midway's Greatest Arcade Hits Volume 2. This comes with a ton of games. Moon Patrol, Spy Hunter, Paperboy, Rampage, 720, and Gauntlet. Out of all of them, Gauntlet and Rampage are definitely my favorite. I love Rampage. I actually have Rampage for the N64. So this was pretty cool, and once again I got this for like $5, so you know, whatever. Next up, Resident Evil 3. Fantastic game, very fun. It's a very fun action game. Is it scary? It can be at times. When Nemesis busts through walls, it can get pretty hectic, or when you're running away from him and he just starts hauling ass after you. It can get pretty creepy. It's nowhere near any of the other entries. I would say it's actually more along the lines of like RE5 and 6. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of like overall gameplay, I guess. It's more of an action game than the others in the series. Next up, we got one of my personal favorite games, and something I did a Let's Play of, Spider-Man on the Dreamcast. If you've seen my Let's Play, you know all about this game. I probably play this game a couple times a month. It's just that much fun, and it's so easy to just, you know, just go through. It doesn't take long to beat, and it's just addicting. It's the best port of the game, absolute best. I haven't played the PC version, but I played every other version of the game, and right here, this one's the best. The graphics are vastly improved over the other games, and it retains the same good gameplay, so solid game. Next, we got Grandia 2. I don't actually have the case for this one, or manual or anything, but very, very fun RPG. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I did. It's actually pretty unique. Not a lot of other RPGs like it. So if you see this one for dirt cheap, go ahead and pick it up. And fun fact, the main character is actually voiced by Leonardo. Next up, we got the fan favorite Resident Evil 2, and I have to agree, I think this is probably my favorite Resident Evil game. It's extremely fun. A lot of people are like, yeah, tank controls, they suck. It's like, no, they don't. They're not that bad. You get used to them, and you have a blast. For some reason, blowing zombies' heads off is so much more satisfying in this game than any other Resident Evil game. Maybe it's because it happens more often, maybe it's because all the blood gushes out. Just for some reason, it's addicting, and when you know where to go, it's one of those games where when you know where to go, you can beat it quickly. So it's a nice game that you can pick up around Halloween or something and just blast through it. Very fun game. You have like so many different types of campaigns and whatnot. Maybe I'll let's play this one day when I actually get a good capture card. That'd be really cool. Next up, Sonic Adventure, the kind of classic of the Dreamcast, system seller of the Dreamcast, and I think it's kind of overrated. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's a decent game, but there are far better 3D Sonic games. But as the first 3D Sonic game, I think it was a great transition. Just nowadays, it has not aged very well. Sorry.
Okay, Sonic, go!
Next up, Shenmue, the cult classic of the Dreamcast. If Sonic Adventure isn't the big Dreamcast game, this definitely is. I'm actually on my third playthrough right now. Very good game. If you get bored of it, make it to the second disc. The second disc is where it actually starts to get good and fun. Next up, Toy Commander. Once again, I don't have like the printing around the back, but I do have the manual. So this is a pretty fun game, but it is hard, but it is very fun, and it's fun to play with multiplayer. If you can get a couple buddies together, it'd be a lot of fun. Crazy Taxi. This is the greatest hits version, or what do they call it? Sega All-Stars version. Very fun game. I suck at it, but I still enjoy it. It's one of those games, once again, where it's just addicting. You want to keep going and you keep beating your high score. And once again, I got this for like $5, so it's not that big of a deal. Next up, we got Jet Grind Radio, a pretty fun game. I do prefer the sequel Jet Set Radio Future because that's a little bit more fast-paced. This one feels a little slow and kind of like sluggish, but the art style is really cool. It's very fun, and overall, I like it. I think it's a great game. Definitely pick it up. Next up, we got Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Very fun game. Once again, I haven't beaten this yet. It's kind of one of those where the heck do I go type games, and I've never been good at them, like games like Metroid. I just suck at them. Fun game. Pick it up if you enjoy those Metroid type games. Next up, Sonic Shuffle. Now I paid about $20 for this. I shouldn't have, but it is a pretty uncommon game, and it is just a cheap Mario Party knockoff. Me and a friend of mine played it, and yeah, it's bad. It's just not good. Pass on this unless you find it for cheap. Don't be an idiot like me and pay the money. Next up, Sonic Adventure 2. As you can see, I didn't get anything with this, but this game is getting a little bit harder to find, a little bit more expensive. Still very fun though. Now this is way better than Sonic Adventure. It fixes a lot of the control problems, and obviously the graphics are better, and just overall I enjoyed it a lot more. My only problem with it are the Knuckles and Rouge segments. Those are really kind of boring. And also in the mech stages, the controls aren't as smooth, you know what I mean? It's harder to make sharp turns and stuff without your guy jerking around and just being a pain in the ass to control. Overall, still a good game though. It's not the best 3D Sonic game though. Next up, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Classic game. I actually bought this off eBay and it doesn't work on my Dreamcast, so I actually cannot play it. I don't know why, but it'll sometimes work and sometimes it won't. I messaged again on eBay, never got an answer back, and so disappointing. I'll have to get another copy of that. Soul Calibur. So we got Soul Calibur, fantastic game, very fun, still holds up. Quake 3 Arena. It's that awkward first-person shooter phase of games, so it takes a while to get used to the controls because you have to. Obviously, the Dreamcast doesn't have a second stick, so you got to use like the face buttons, and that can be kind of annoying. So overall, decent game, but obviously it would be much better if the online was still up and running, and you had your keyboard and stuff. Probably would have been a much better game. Sega Bass Fishing, kind of a classic Dreamcast game, and once again, I think it's a lot of fun, especially when you have the fishing rod with it. Just a very, very fun game. I like it a lot. It's a fun arcade game. Definitely check it out. It's dirt cheap, so perfect game to add to your collection. House of the Dead 2, I actually don't. This game doesn't work either. I don't know why. My Dreamcast can play some games and can't play others. Like it can play Shenmue, which is easily graphically and just overall size-wise is the biggest game on the Dreamcast, and it can't handle House of the Dead and Tony Hawk. So if anybody knows the reason why, please tell me. It could be the discs, but I have no idea. So, anyways, fun game. Just wish I could play it. I got to play it a couple times, because this is a new Dreamcast, by the way. Actually, I do. I'll buy a new Dreamcast. My old Dreamcast wouldn't play a lot of these games, and now I got this new one, but it won't play House of the Dead, and the other one would, so I don't get it at all. Choo Choo Rocket, very fun multiplayer game, not so much single player. Once again, if the online was working, it would be a lot better because you can actually build your own stages and whatnot and have people play them, and it's very fun. And when you're playing with multiplayer, it's actually fantastic. It's super hectic and a lot of fun. This is what the game industry needs nowadays, you know what I mean? It's a shame that the Dreamcast never really got anywhere because it was just this fantastic system, and it had a lot of unique games in it, not just first-person shooters or Halo 12, you know what I mean? Like, it had unique games that sadly didn't catch on in the general public. And saving the most mediocre for last, sorry about that, we got Virtua Tennis, and I got this for $2 the other day, so I was like, I'll pick it up. It's not bad. It's no Mario Tennis. I mean, it is supposed to be a more realistic sports game, but I feel like in terms of controls, it feels a little awkward, I guess. But overall, pretty fun game. We had a blast playing this, me and a buddy of mine, and overall, I thought it was a lot of fun. So that's going to be it for the Dreamcast Collection video. I don't know, I think that was probably about 30 games, maybe 29, something like that. And overall, Dreamcast is a fantastic system. If you don't own one, get one. They're only about $30. Worst case scenario, it won't work or it won't play the games because the Dreamcast is notorious for having a bad laser diode. So pretty much, the laser will crap out and it just won't play games anymore. That's the one downside of the Dreamcast, but if you can get a relatively good and clean one, you should have no problem at all, and it'll last you, a couple of years as long as you don't just play it nonstop. Just hard. But fantastic system. Definitely recommend you pick it up. I mean, like I said, you can get it probably for $20-30, and if it breaks down, you're only out $30, and you can go and get a new one. And most places should be able to return your Dreamcast and get you a better one. We had to go through quite a bit to get one that worked. So just be wary of that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.